On the modern battlefield where seconds decide wars and mistakes cost nations their future, the United States never settled for good enough. They built excess. They built overwhelming power. They built a machine designed not merely to fight, but to dominate, to intimidate, and to remind the world why American engineering rules the battlefield. When the M1 Abrams rolls forward, it is not just a tank advancing, it is a statement. It is the sound of American industry, science, and military doctrine moving together with absolute intent. When the Abrams was tested in real combat for the first time in 1991 during Operation Desert Storm, the world witnessed something that felt fundamentally unfair. In the vast deserts of Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, this massive sand-colored giant tore across terrain that should have slowed it down, yet never did. Powered by a high-speed turbine engine, the M1 surged forward to liberate Kuwait from Iraqi occupation, engaging Soviet-designed tanks supplied to the Iraqi army and destroying them at distances where the enemy often had no idea they were even under attack. Its German-designed 120mm smoothbore cannon, adopted and licensed by the United States, immediately proved its superiority. Longer range, devastating accuracy, and advanced ammunition meant one simple reality on the battlefield. The Abrams saw first, fired first, and survived to fire again. Soviet-era tanks built for a different kind of war became obsolete in real time as the M1 Abrams established itself as a predator engineered specifically to hunt and destroy them. More than 4 decades later, the same tank, born from the Cold War and designed to face Soviet armor, is once again returning to the center of global conflict. The United States is preparing to deliver M1 Abrams battalions to Ukraine, where it will again confront tanks descended from the very philosophy it was built to defeat. Despite being over 40 years old, the Abrams remains one of the most lethal armored platforms ever created, thanks to relentless modernization and engineering decisions that were decades ahead of their time. Everything about the Abrams begins with intimidation, starting the moment its engine comes to life. When the M1 powers up, it does not sound like a tank. It sounds like a military aircraft preparing for takeoff. A rising, almost violent pitch fills the air as turbine blades spin at extreme speeds inside the hull. That sound exists because the Abrams does not rely on a conventional diesel engine. It uses a gas turbine, technology normally reserved for jet aircraft, chosen not for efficiency, but for absolute performance. That choice gave the Abrams an overwhelming advantage. The Honeywell AGT-1500 turbine weighs just over 1 ton while producing an astonishing 1,500 horsepower. Comparable diesel engines and other main battle tanks weigh nearly twice as much while delivering less power. This insane power-to-weight ratio allowed American engineers to stack massive layers of armor onto the Abrams without sacrificing acceleration or top speed. Despite weighing the equivalent of more than 50 passenger cars, the M1 accelerates with an aggression that defies logic and reaches speeds no machine of its size should ever achieve. The Abrams even turns one of its biggest weaknesses into a strength. It consumes enormous amounts of fuel, far more than comparable diesel tanks, but that fuel serves a second purpose. Diesel fuel acts as an additional layer of protection, absorbing energy from explosions and kinetic impacts. And if the battlefield demands it, the Abrams can run on almost any fuel available, from marine diesel to gasoline or kerosene. This flexibility reflects American military doctrine, the ability to fight anywhere on Earth, in any climate, without being limited by logistics. The true brilliance of the M1 Abrams, however, lies in its armor. Unlike the steel-heavy tanks of World War II, the Abrams uses advanced composite armor, incorporating extremely hard ceramic layers. These ceramics are several times harder than steel, while being far lighter, and their purpose is brutal efficiency. When a kinetic penetrator strikes the armor, the ceramic layer fractures the projectile, spreading its energy and grinding it down while the metal backing absorbs what remains. This is not brute force alone, it is physics weaponized. Even when immense energy is transferred through the armor, the Abrams is engineered to protect what matters most: its crew. Anti-spall liners, isolated ammunition compartments, and blowout panels ensure that if ammunition detonates, the explosion is directed away from the crew compartment. Every design choice makes one thing clear: American engineers did not only plan for destroying the enemy, they planned for bringing their soldiers home alive. Above all else, the Abrams places trust in people. Unlike many modern tanks equipped with autoloaders, the M1 retains a four-man crew. To the United States Army, one extra soldier means more awareness, more adaptability, more maintenance capability, and greater survivability in real combat. The Abrams may be a masterpiece of engineering, but it is the humans inside it who turn steel, ceramic, and fire into battlefield dominance. After decades of upgrades, advanced thermal sensors, digital fire control systems, remote weapon stations, and continuous modernization, the M1 Abrams remains a cornerstone of American ground power. It is not merely an old tank still in service. It is proof that when the United States designs a weapon, it is not built for the next war, but for every war that follows. And as long as the Abrams continues to roll forward, the battlefield will keep speaking the same language: overwhelming American engineering superiority.